File transfer complete.
This is the Arizona Podcast. Stories about the people, places, and events found along the highways and back roads of the Grand Canyon State. For more information on our podcast, visit ArizonaPodcast.com.
Did you know that if you shift your spending to an Arizona business, you're also helping your local economy? Whether you're shopping for food, grabbing a quick item from a store, or searching for a local service provider, a simple shift on your part can help support and improve the quality of life for everyone. In baseball terms, when you support the hometown team, you're supporting your hometown family. Go to shiftarizona.com. This message is brought to you by Bedmart, an Arizona business proudly supporting Local First Arizona.
And welcome to the maiden voyage of the Arizona Podcast. And how fitting that the first broadcast is simply a quick introduction to who we are, why we do this, what's coming up, and how you can help us get there. Well, about me. My name is Chris. I'm just a cowboy lost in Arizona. As a team, it's Mary and I. And we serve as semi-retired wedding chaplains and, recent California transplants to the Mojave Valley, and currently planning our full retirement in a few years right here in the Grand Canyon State. Now, today we are actually based in both California and Arizona. We're both bragging grandparents and would be more than happy to share any amount of stories of our 4 grandchildren. All you have to do is ask. We'll share. 2 of our grandchildren live in San Diego, the other 2 in Salt Lake. Now, a little bit more about your host. That would be me. In addition to the chaplaincy work, I spent 30 years in major market radio in all facets of the broadcast industry. From on-air, music director, program director, operations director, sales, and I left as VP GM of a group in San Diego. Now, my favorite times were hot country of the 80s and 90s and made some really good, awesome friends along the way, none of which live in Arizona. Probably won't get them on the air unless they're here on tour. I started podcasting years ago, and I created the On the Interstate Radio Network and provided travelers with an internet radio station and podcast. Now, what I've done is brought all these years of experience to the Arizona Podcast. It helps me with scheduling, hosting, interviews, programming, audio, technical production, building the studio, and of course, when I'm asked what the Arizona Podcast is, I tell people it's kind of a hybrid of a Sunday morning public service show and a little time at a local comedy club. I'm going to talk about the cities of Arizona, and I'll talk to the leaders of those communities. Now, for example, one of our first shows, we're going to talk about the city of Winslow, and we'll talk with the mayor, Bertie Cano. We'll talk about the landmarks that make awesome landscapes of Arizona, and we'll talk to the experts that can share the history. We'll highlight some of the museums that keep the state heritage alive and the curators that help protect them. We're going to talk to some public service people that really go out of the way to help Arizona. They do so by keeping Arizona clean for us, especially in the landscaping. And most importantly, there's some organizations out there that help us take care of our wildlife. Being a foodie, we have to talk about food. Now, this is not going to be the fancy 5-star places you find here in Arizona. There are plenty of shows that discuss that, magazines that show pictures, and podcasts that will talk about it. Well, think more of diners, drive-ins, and dives with an attitude for the local. We're going to find some hidden gems discovered right here in the Grand Canyon State. Now, it wouldn't be right to talk about Arizona and not bring up the Mother Road, old Route 66. By the way, 2026 will mark the centennial, 100 years of the Mother Road. We'll be spending a lot of time on the road talking to the people that know a lot about it. I'm going to give you a few facts that might interest you. Route 66 in Arizona is 388 miles in length. That's second to the longest, which happens to be in New Mexico. Out of those 388 miles, Arizona has more than 250 miles that are drivable. That includes the longest stretch in existence. Arizona has 158 miles. You'll find it west of Ash Fork, which is exit 139 on Interstate 40, and it goes to the California state line. By the way, in 2009, historic Route 66 in Arizona was designated as an all-American road. Oh, by the way, Oatman, Arizona, which is located in the western side of Arizona, has an honor as well. You see, we're the only state that hasn't asked for a mayor. Literally. His name is Walter. He's an ass. And he's the mayor of Oatman. We also hold the title of birthplace of historic Route 66 thanks to Angel. And Arizona cities are the most mentioned in the song Route 66. You know, you can go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri. We have 3 cities that makes us the top. Flagstaff, Winona, and Kingman. Social media seems to be a big play when it comes to podcasting. Well, our happy place, Instagram, and currently Facebook. We're not doing real well on Twitter, although we have a presence. Twitter just seems so mean. Everybody has something to argue about. We have happy thoughts. Although, again, we do have a presence on Twitter, we don't play with it at all. We stay with Instagram and post the photos on Instagram and Facebook. You'll find us on both those at Arizona Podcast. By the way, my AARP card means I'm too old to be part of TikTok, so we won't even be going there. Now, I mentioned, and you'll see it in print, Chris and Mary. They're the people behind Arizona Podcast. Mary is the best damn co-pilot in the world. She can be as analog as they come. She can rip through a Rand McNally map book, grids and all, or she can follow an old Google map right down to the 10th of a mile. But she can also be digital. She's very persistent on Waze. By the way, she's one of those pink super Wazers with the little crown on her head. That's known as a Waze royalty, and it's well-deserved. When I'm on the road, you'll know that Mary will be right by my side as we drive as a team across the great state of Arizona. Now, we do have some future shows and ideas, live shows, or maybe some location recordings at concerts, events, and landmarks. But we want your ideas, too. Is there a place that we should see? Is there a person we should be talking to? Share it with us. How about a most beautiful hiking trail that you know of? How about a great scenic drive in the state of Arizona? Undiscovered locales that most people don't know about. More Route 66 favorites, best bands, a great roadside coffee house, and I'm in search of the best chicken fried steak breakfast in all of Arizona. Our mission statement for the show is quite clear. We will use the Arizona Podcast to promote and encourage both residents and visitors to explore the beauty of the state of Arizona, the history, the people, the cultures, landscapes, landmarks, food, music, and entertainment. We as chaplains walk a very fine line. Although we will talk to politicians, we will not discuss politics. Although we'll talk to the clergy, we will not discuss religion. All guests, all listeners are equal and treated with respect and gratitude. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's always money to be made in podcasting. We're not in this for money. We're doing this because of a passion. We love the state of Arizona. That's why we moved here, and we want to share it. Now, believe it or not, my financial goal to pay the podcast bill runs $10 a month. That's what it actually costs me out of my pocket to host this show online for you to listen to. So far, I can afford that. The fuel and the coffee to keep us going on the road trips. But of course, any help is appreciated. On the top of the webpage, you will find 3 sponsors. It's ESET, Internet Security, Marriott Bonvoy Credit Card by Chase, and Passport America. Now, those are the 3 that are there, but they're not really sponsors. They're actually services that we use that offer a referral program. So if you click the service, use the service, we'll get a few pennies, or bonuses will be added to our account. They're there for if you need it. Also, there are other ways to support the podcast. You can, how about buy us a cup of coffee or chip in on fuel? Go buy Venmo. We have a Venmo account. It's Cowboy Lost, easy to find. All that information is on the webpage. Under heading, you'll find it on the right side on the very top, says support us. There's a QR code you can scan and it will take you right to Venmo. The other one is using the links on the webpage. Now, I have to say this. Some of the links on Arizona Podcast are affiliate links. This means that at no cost to you, we will earn an affiliate commission if you click through the link and finalize a purchase. There you have it. We covered the legal side of it. It's simple. If you click on it, you buy the product, we'll make something. We're not talking a lot of money. Won't even pay the bill. The old motto your parents had. You collect a bunch of pennies, you'll get to $1 before you know it. And speaking of a penny, visit the Google ads. We get a penny every time you click on it. Pretty simple. We appreciate it, but not necessary. Just wanted to open the door. So now you have it. What is the show, where we plan on going, and how you can support us? I think I've covered the topics that need to be done. Now you know what it's all about. Our first podcast should be by the end of August 2022, and we'll try to at least get out one show every month, maybe more. Now, we're listed everywhere you can download a podcast. Apple iTunes, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music, you name it, we're there. If you can't find us, come by ArizonaPodcast.com. You'll find us there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can download the podcast and listen anytime you'd like. And we appreciate you taking the time to learn about what's coming up on the Arizona Podcast. And thank you in advance for tuning in to find out what brought us here. Mary and I hope you find the shows interesting and bring you to the great state of Arizona.
Program terminated. Thank you for listening to the Arizona Podcast. For more information on our podcasts, the people, places, events, or the sponsors heard, visit ArizonaPodcast.com. Available for download everywhere.